The story goes that these O-Block shooters spotted P5 at around 9:13 in the morning and opened fire, hitting him multiple times. Some accounts even suggest that he was hit 6 times in the head and 9 times in the body.
God
P5
damn.
was rushed to Stroger Hospital, but once again was pronounced dead within the hour. Fody Perry from Wick City, who had garnered a reputation as a shooter during this period. While this connection couldn't be definitively
hear that
established,
too. OD, who they named O-Block after OD. Niggas was scared of OD. Like,
when 2 suspects approached them, they gunned him down just 1 block south, near 64th Street, closer to O-Block itself. After this act, the suspects proceeded further down the block, where they shot a 15-year-old in the head, who miraculously survived.
Damn.
Unfortunately, Platoon was not as fortunate and did not survive.
These exotic boys, smoke exotic ops. You ain't heard about murder boys, we got exotic glocks. Tied to pull up real fast, with a lot of shots. Bitch, I'm feeling just like Mac, I got a lot of guap.
Mula gang, what y'all on? It's your boy Mac, Mula, aka Mr. Mula Mac. It's early morning, woke up morning, got that mother thonky, and I got that money. Please smash the thumbs up button right now. Go in that description, subscribe to all my channels. I just went crazy. Y'all gotta smash the thumbs up button for that. I just went stupid out the T.O.P. What y'all on though, man? Everybody groovy, everybody decent. Make y'all hit the thonk, man. Go ahead and do your thug easy, man. I share what I gotta share. Yeah. Make sure y'all smash that thumbs up button, man. That subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Follow your boy on the gram if you're not already. I know the views been down, but I'm still getting 100,000 views a day. Cause y'all love me, and I love y'all for loving me. So keep loving me. I love y'all though, man. Hey, go to that description right now. Subscribe to my main channel. We going crazy over there. I'm finna go 3 a day over there too. Don't cap, don't tweak, don't sleep. My Mula membership channel, I'm showing you how to go from broke to rich. Literally, like, stop playing. Like, go over there right now. What you doing? You tweaking. Like, go over there and get some games, some free game. You know what I'm saying? My courses, my ebooks are coming soon. So make sure y'all go over there and we gonna learn how to get this money on. You know what I'm saying? You can sell draw nugs, you can sell anything on Phonogram. I swear to God. Now listen, we finna get into this video right here. I can't hear nothing. Yeah. That's y'all right. For sure. I know the rat. I know the rat, gay. What the hell was that? Oh, he blicking.
Following breaking news overnight, police responded to 2 large shootings in different parts of the South Side.
Man, boy, I ain't gonna lie. Let me tell you something about them train tracks right there. If you ever in Chicago, you see them train tracks, you in the hood. Leave, run, don't go nowhere, don't pass go. Like this is on bro grave. Like unless you downtown, that's the only time I swear to God. If you look to your left, you look to your right, you don't see a bunch of tall ass buildings everywhere. It's not downtown. You're in the hood. Run. Did you hear what I have to run? Don't get on that train ever in your life. Run.
As we dive deeper into this intricate web of territorial disputes and affiliations, we aim to shed light on the forces that have shaped Chicago's gang culture over the years. The war that infected the streets of Chicago, those of the infamous O-Block and Tocqueville, lasted for years and took a large toll on the community. This widely known conflict has a deep history and it goes way back. Today, we will research the history of events that unfolded prior to the gang war that escalated between 2 of Chicago's notoriously dangerous blocks, explore why and how conflict emerged, and pay homage to all the victims and fallen warriors of this large-scale beef that went on for years. This is the story of O-Block and Tocqueville and their devastating war that forever changed the landscape of the city, our perception of gang life, and in doing so, gave hip-hop an entire new genre. The history of Chicago's gangs starts in the late 1960s. The transformation of the Black disciples and gangster disciples only reached its decline in the mid-2000s. During this 40-year period,
they was killing niggas and looking like players. Look at that.
Disciples and gangster.
They got their shirts tucked. You know what I'm saying? Straight flat jeans. None of them got on sneakers, gang, and they smoking niggas.
Disciples only reached its decline in the mid-2000s. During this 40-year period, both gangs saw a significant shift in leadership, an important year that comes up often.
But really, I ain't gonna lie, real quick, last pause. The gang started before. The gang was the Al Capone 1920s. Hold on, y'all, before we get back into the video, because we finna get right back into it, I gotta tell y'all about the Mula membership. The Mula membership is a website that I started a few years ago. Since I started this website, I have been able to put on so many of y'all, and I want you to be the next person to get put on. I'm gonna give you instructional videos, step-by-step instructions. I'm literally giving you lessons out weekly, daily, for you to understand these different categories. We talking about business, financial literacy, credit, crypto, we talking about stocks, we talking about Amazon, we talking about drop shipping, we talking about YouTube. I'm literally giving you the gems to be a boss, the gems to be a successful entrepreneur in 2023. So this is all you have to do. Click the link in the description, sign up right now for the low price of $50 a month, bro. $50 a month. You're gonna get access to a one-on-one help with me. You're gonna get access to my group chats where my experts worldwide work around the clock, 24/7, to make sure you have the best stock and crypto call-outs. That means all you gotta do is buy the same stocks and cryptos that I'm buying and make some of all this bread. Very simple, very easy. On bro, okay, stop waiting. Stop procrastinating. Click the first link in the description right now, especially if you want to be a boss. And if you dead serious, man, if you want to put that work in and get that money on, I'm talking about that easy money on, click that link in the description, shorty, right now, because we only got 2,000 spots, and I would hate to see you be missed out, okay? Like, Chicago is just built on that energy. Like, Al Capone was running around Chicago, gang. You get what I'm saying? That's why even if you from Chicago, you could be a lame in Chicago and be a gangster anywhere else. And I ain't say anywhere, but other places, like, you could be the most gangster nigga anybody know, and you could be a straight bitch in Chicago. That be happening a lot. That's why these niggas be moving out of town and get to turning up. Now they BD, GD, now they on phone them every 5 minutes. They ain't never talk like this. You get what I'm saying?
That of 2004, when the crackdown on the Black Disciples took place, which led to the indictment of their leader at the time, Marvel Thompson, along with 41 other senior members.
It started with a bang and a round of applause. All over Chicago, they're tearing down the cinder block dinosaurs known here simply as the projects. They've been a disaster.
Chicago's decision to demolish several large tenement buildings that had served as strongholds for drug dealing by both the Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples caused a major change. This demolition left many younger members of these gangs displaced, pushing them to seek new territories and form new alliances to sustain their street operations. During this video, we will focus on two of the most prominent Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples sets that emerged after the demolition of these Chicago projects. Specifically, we'll take a closer look at one of the most famous Black Disciples sets in history, O-Block. However, O-Block wasn't always known by this name. Long before King Von and Chief Keef immortalized O-Block in their lyrics, the Black Disciples controlled the Parkway Gardens blocks in Chicago, which were originally referred to as Wick City, with YC standing for wild, insane, and crazy. Notably, the stylization of Wick with 3 I letters was influenced by the Black Disciples association with the number 3. It's worth mentioning that many of the young Black Disciples based at Parkway Gardens were descendants of Black Disciples who had worked under Marvel Thompson in the castle before the
number. I don't really know, because I ain't no BD, so I ain't never read the literature and all that. But 3 is very significant, though. You know what I'm saying? So if you ever see a nigga do like this, that's BD. Literally, this is the sign for BD, the tray. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you see a nigga do this, that's like cracking trays. That's like dropping the G's. So like, drop the G's, and it'll be like GDK. So they can't do like, they feel like this looks stupid. So they do like that. So that's like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Major bust in 2004. For context, it's important to note that the castle referred to a significant drug dealing operation run by the Black Disciples in Chicago during a time when the gang was much larger and had a more structured leadership. However, as we move into the 2010, the Black Disciples in Wick City became less organized and essentially transformed into an emerging Black Disciples set composed of younger members with ties to the original castle operation. Many gangs emerge as a means of protection against rival groups. In the case of Wick City, their primary rivals are a couple of Gangster Disciple sets situated in neighboring blocks. One of these Gangster Disciple sets, known for their ongoing conflicts with Wick City, is the St. Lawrence Boys, or STL. This particular crew is based on 63rd and St. Lawrence Street. This location is precisely why figures like King Von frequently diss individuals from the 63rd area.
Well, we put in work from 64th and from 65th. We not from 63rd. We hang on 64th, 65th, and King Drive. And on 63rd, over here kind of to the left, they dirty and stuff.
I thought they dirty and stuff.
Doing all type of petty stuff. So we don't go up there with them because they be dirty. I don't know, something ain't right up there. So I had to make it known, like, because it's so close, We not from 63rd.
Furthermore, the STL GDs have affiliations with another adjacent gangster disciple crew known as EBT, located on 64th and South Eberhard Avenue. This interconnected web of gang territories and affiliations plays a significant role in the dynamics and conflicts within the Chicago gang landscape. In the world of Chicago's gangs, it's common to hear names like STL and EBT mentioned together, often collectively referred to as STL EBT. This territory is situated right next to Parkway Gardens.
Folks now shooting niggas in new assholes. Let niggas be known STL EBT right here, man. Shout out to the game, man. Ain't no other
It's crazy too, cause y'all, it's so many, like, you might not even know some of these people names or faces, or you know, it's so many people passed away in this one video. It's crazy.
Hey, what block I'm on, man? Man, you on EBT, man. This is right here, man.
It's challenging to pinpoint a single event that sparked the intense rivalry between these two groups. The reality is that some of this animosity dates back to their high school days, when members from these areas engaged in typical schoolyard fights. However, these seemingly minor conflicts escalated into deadly violence once these individuals grew old enough to access firearms, possibly with older BDs and GDs from their respective areas fueling age-old feuds that may have roots dating back to the days of Marvel Thompson and even earlier. It's crucial to remember that many of the people involved in these stories are essentially children or teenagers with tragically short lives. This fact adds an extra layer of tragedy to the events that unfolded over just a few years. Now, turning our attention to Parkway Gardens, where the Wick City Black Disciples BDs made their home, it gained notoriety as one of the most dangerous blocks in both Chicago and America. This reputation was primarily the result of an alarming surge in shootings that occurred between 2011 and 2014.
I got a 10-1, police 10-1, 6330 South King. 3-4, we got one more shot. Got another one inside. We got one more piece.
It's evident that Parkway Gardens' reputation for danger was a direct consequence of the events that unfolded during this feud. Moreover, it owed much of its notoriety to the presence of highly dangerous individuals who occupied these blocks during that time. Some of the names associated with the Wick City BD enforcers of the 2010s may ring a bell, especially if you've listened to popular Chicago drill music in recent years. The most renowned figures from this era include Chief Keef and King Von. Chief Keef, hailing from Parkway Gardens, wholeheartedly represented O-Block and another BD-affiliated set known as 300 in his music. While Chief Keef cultivated a reputation for street toughness and trap music, he never claimed to be an assassin. His eventual focus on music development might have played a role in ensuring his survival. In contrast, King Von, a Parkway Gardens veteran, was known for allegedly being involved in multiple homicides and openly acknowledging it in his music. Even in the early 2010s, King Von proudly displayed his BD affiliation on social media, representing Parkway and expressing unwavering loyalty to his gang. Among the other notable figures in the Wick City BD set were feared individuals like HK and J Money, also known as J Mana. Additionally, there was King Von's close BD associate, T Roy, with their bond becoming increasingly significant as our story progresses. In fact, King Von used to go by the name V Roy on Twitter as a nod to their strong connection, and his Twitter handle still retains the reference Fram de Wick, signifying his origins in Wick City. Other Wick City members who held it down alongside King Von and T Roy included Big A, OD, Trey 5, Patoon, Boss Money, Sheroid, Duke, Rah Rah, aka Reezy, and Boss Top. Boss Top, like Chief Keef, transitioned into the world of rap and even released a song titled Wick City. However, he later had a falling out with Chief Keef after allegedly stealing clothing from him. These were the Wick City BDs fiercely defending their block, ready to confront their rivals with determination, frequently signaling their readiness with GDK hand signs, signaling their intent as GD killers who were unafraid to act. On the STL EBT side,
I remember when GDK, BDK, if anybody don't know where that come from, that come from the whole, like, it really, like, jumped off with, like, the JoJo shit when he came out with, like, niggas claim 300, but we BDK. That just mean we killing the BDs, like, you get what I'm saying? But it was a point in time, like, where people were saying that, and it was just a point in time of 2012, 2013. You could run around and say GDK on Instagram and not get your ass beat. Like, you couldn't just say BDK, GDK, or whatever, and go to the MLK, go to the skating rink, and just, you feel me? Or go to Popeyes, go to school. Like, motherfuckers beat your ass just for saying that. Just for doing this, just for doing this, just for niggas get on your, it ain't really like, it's watered down now. Like, in Chicago, bro, everybody BD, GDK, BDK, EBK, like, everybody You know, everybody just saying it really just because it's got so fucking cool now. Niggas are saying it in songs, and it's just so cool now. But it was a point in time where you had to watch your mouth for real. You couldn't tweet that. You couldn't say that on Instagram if you weren't really prepared to ready for what was gonna come with it. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Faced off against a few individuals who might be familiar to you if you're well-versed in Chicago's drill culture. Among these figures, one name that stands out is Gakira Barnes, known as K.I. or Key. She was a young female hitter and had a close friendship with fellow member Tuka since childhood. Another significant member was FBG Butta, who, alongside K.I., formed a dynamic duo affectionately referred to as the Twins. Other members within STL, EBT, and the broader
They want real twins? I thought it was real twins.
The boy gang included individuals who were more focused on making music. This group included names like FBG Brick and the legendary FBG Duck. Another musically inclined member repping FBG was Lil J, who lived in STL and later formed closer ties with them, although he primarily had disputes with the 600 gang that ran adjacent to this feud. Additionally, there were individuals like Little B and Wooski, the latter often dubbed King of the Opps. Boss Trell and Little Doc also had notable roles in this dynamic. It's worth noting that while additionally, there were individuals like Little B and Wooski,
that's why
the latter.
Some of these niggas do not be knowing what's going on. Like, it is a Lil B, but that's not him. You got Lil B, the bass guy. Like, y'all don't know what the going on in Chicago, boy. Y'all get on the internet. Why? This is why I do these reactions, because y'all get on the internet and just do this, do that. Y'all don't know. Y'all lost as hell. You ain't never been to Chicago. Ain't never don't know your cousin ain't from Chicago or nothing. You just talking.
Often dubbed King of the Opps, Boss Trell and Little Doc also had notable roles in this dynamic. It's worth noting that while this list covers prominent members from STL EBT during the mentioned period, there may have been additional figures in later years who aren't included here. So now that we've introduced the background and key individuals involved, let's delve into the actual storyline. This will provide us with a more in-depth understanding of how the events unfolded, ultimately leading to Wick City's transformation into O-Block and STL EBT's evolution into Tookaville. While attempting to trace the origins of this feud back to its exact beginnings between BD and GD members from these blocks might seem somewhat unrealistic, but we can certainly pinpoint the commencement of the real violence between these groups to one crucial moment. That moment was the tragic killing of Edric Tyshawn Walker, also known as Ty, a BD member who fell victim to gunfire in May 2009. Ty was just 17 years old when he was fatally shot multiple times shortly before 10 p.m. on the 6500 block of South Evans Avenue. 3 suspects from EBT were charged with his murder. It's worth noting that Ty was more closely associated with another BD set known as 065 Young Money. However, following his untimely death, local friends of his came together to form the group TIMB, which stands for Ty, You're My Brother. This was both a way to honor his memory and a commitment to seek retribution, a trend that would gain momentum as this feud continued to escalate.
Like, if anybody don't know, it's 2 Young Moneys in the Chicago. It's TYMB and it's 051. That's why a lot of times you will see like 051 Young Money and it'll say TYMB Young Money, or like, you get what I'm saying? Like type. But yeah, so like niggas like 051 Kiddo and 051, what's the other nigga name? Driller or whatever. The nigga that was dissing everybody. I think it's Driller. All them niggas, they from 051. Now that's like 5-6 blocks away from my crib. TYMB, I think, I forgot where they ass be at, but it's just 2 different things, but it's confusing if you don't.
Ty's tragic loss was only the beginning of the bloodshed in the area, primarily instigated by members of STL EBT. It was the subsequent killing, occurring after Ty's murder, that marked a direct escalation in the conflict between STL EBT and Wick City. In this case, the individual in question was Reezy, also known as Ra-Ra, an older OG member of Wick City. Tragically, Ra-Ra was gunned down in August 2010, further fueling the flames of this ongoing war. Reezy, also known as Ra-Ra, whose real name was Laverick Marshall, held a respected position as an older OG member within Wick City. However, on August 25, 2010, tragedy struck when Reezy was discovered shot in the back after law enforcement intervened in a massive brawl near 64th Street and South King Drive. Regrettably, Reezy was later pronounced dead at the hospital. While there has been much speculation surrounding the identity of his assailants, no conclusive evidence has ever surfaced. Nevertheless, it's a fact that only a month later, another brutal homicide occurred, seemingly connected to these ongoing tensions. In this instance, the victim was Jeremy Marshall, also known on the streets as Little 4, and he happened to be a blood relative of STL member FBG Kells. Jeremy lost his life on their turf when he was approached.
This is all before me, so I can't comment on this. I'm damn near listening. Just, you feel me? I don't know. This 2009, nigga. I'm not gonna say and listen. 2009, I was 11. I was like in 4th grade. I don't know what was going on, so don't ask.
Near 63rd and Rhodes Avenue by 2 individuals. One of them brandished a firearm and opened fire, shooting Jeremy in the back as he attempted to flee before tragically succumbing to his injuries. The shooters hastily fled the scene in a vehicle. Once again, the identity of the perpetrators remained unclear. However, intense speculation suggested that the culprits might have been affiliated with the Wick City BDs. Some even went as far as connecting this incident to Odie Perry from Wick City, who had garnered a reputation as a shooter during this period. While this connection couldn't be definitively established.
Too. OD, who they named O Block after OD. Niggas was scared of OD. Like, from everything that I heard, niggas was scared of OD. Like, the whole hood was scared of OD type. So that's why they ain't just naming O Block because he was just somebody cousin or something. Like, he was really like, you know, like, he was really out there.
Established, it's likely that retaliatory acts between Wick City and STL-EBT unfolded in the months that followed. This sequence of events ultimately brings us to January 2011, where we encounter a name that would become all too familiar in the Chicago drill scene, Tuka.
Oh, yeah. Get it too. Bang. #1 with it, yes. I'm with it too. I am. You die else until them hitters get rid of you. Rest in peace on Tuka.
On January 12, 2011, a tragic incident occurred. 15-year-old Shundale Gregory, known on the streets as Tuka, was waiting at a bus stop on the 600 block of East 63rd Street. At a certain point, a dark-colored vehicle appeared, and an individual wearing a half mask emerged from it. There have been reports that this person exchanged a few words with Tuka, but in a matter of seconds, they unleashed a barrage of gunfire upon him before swiftly fleeing the scene. FBG Duck, a member of STL, was actually close friends with Tuka. Upon learning of Tuka's death, Duck rushed to the crime scene, where he had the heartbreaking experience of seeing his fallen friend and brother before Tuka was taken away. This tragic event marked a significant moment in the ongoing feud between Wick City and STL-EBT.
Yeah, real close. Everyday friends.
Tuka tragically lost his life at the scene, with paramedics unable to save him. The responsibility for Tuka's death remains unclear, but it's essential to understand the context of this tragedy. TIMB members were determined to avenge their friend Ty's death, targeting an STL-EBT member. Conversely, Wick City members sought retribution for what had happened to Reezy. However, regardless of the motives, Tuka paid a heavy price for his affiliation with STL-EBT. In response to this devastating loss, STL-EBT decided to rename their neighborhood Tukaville in honor of Tuka and as a pledge to seek vengeance. Members like FBG Brick passionately upheld Tuka's memory. It's worth noting that in response to these events, members from TIMB and Wick City formed an alliance, anticipating retaliation from Tukaville. In the face of Tukaville's intense desire for revenge, a fervent desire to disrespect Tuka emerged from the BD side. As you may know, Tuka's name has been the subject of numerous disses in hip-hop over the years. Initially, GDS from Tukaville, including FBG Duck, claimed they were smoking Tuka out of respect for him. This claim was reminiscent of the old story about Tupac's crew, the Outlaws, allegedly smoking his ashes in a blunt after his death. However, BD opponents from Wick City immediately turned the narrative around and started mocking Tukaville. Chief Keef's 300 track contained the iconic diss line, and this sentiment was echoed by other members beneath the surface of social media.
I'm gonna tell y'all a rumor that I can't back up or none. When Tuka died, they said that when they got to the crime scene, his body was still smoking. So that's why it's so disrespectful when they say I'm smoking too. I don't know. I'm telling you what I heard. This ain't no internet. I ain't hear this on no internet. I heard this from street niggas. Like, you feel what I'm saying? That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is. You know, niggas make up and then it spread and all that. I'm just letting you know what they said. Okay? Even when Tuka died, I was 12, 11 somewhere in 5th grade or something. You feel? So I don't know.
Trash talk, a more sinister undercurrent existed. As mentioned briefly earlier, one of Tuka's closest childhood friends was a young girl named K.I., who gained notoriety as a teenage assassin, allegedly responsible for 17 homicides by the age of 17.
That's that old shit. Little J though. That was fucking King Louis.
It is said that Tuka's death played a pivotal role in transforming K.I. into a cold-blooded killer, receiving guidance in shooting from her cousin, fellow Tukaville GD Boss Trail, and learning street maneuvers from her older brother Seaball. A vengeful teenage K.I. would ultimately find her opportunity for retaliation in the form of Odie.
Yeah, I used to be with OD, the person who they named O Block after. That's who I used to be with. OD, me and OD them used to run around. Folks was really like that, I ain't gonna lie. OD had everybody scared. He used to be whooping their ass around that bitch. And I used to be fighting one of them type of shorties who was always fighting everybody. So me and him really like came together on some, we alike type shit. So we got to hanging out. I was from the Calumet building, he was from O Block. I got to spend the night at OD crib.
That's like right across the street, y'all. So don't think that Calumet building is not like on the other side of the city. And that's why so many of these niggas ended up in O Block and on 63rd. Like, you feel me? Like FIB J Main from the Calumet building, Reese from the Calumet building. A lot of them niggas really from the Calumet building. A lot of, like, majority of them niggas.
Being in O Block, and that's how I was out there. He died in like 2011. That made everybody who they is right now to this day. Yeah. A lot of things changed. People started doing different shit. Like, a lot of people started shooting guns and shit.
Around 11:35 p.m. on August 10th, 2011, a devastating event unfolded. A respected Wick City member, 20-year-old O.D. Perry, fell victim to gunfire near Parkway Gardens on the 400 block of East 64th Street. O.D. suffered multiple gunshot wounds, including a fatal shot to the neck. He was pronounced dead at Stroger Hospital within an hour of the shooting. Just as Tuka's memory had prompted Wick City BDs to rename Parkway Gardens as O Block in his honor, they did the same for O.D. Perry, committing to avenge his death. The likes of Chief Keef and King Von have immortalized O Block in their music, and it remains known as such today. The killing of O.D. Perry was believed to be revenge for Tuka's murder, a sentiment seemingly reinforced by the fact that it occurred on Tuka's birthday. The identity of O.D.'s killers remains unknown, but rumors began to circulate that this might have been the first act of the teenage Tukaville assassin K.I. Little J, among others, played a role in promoting these rumors. However, it's crucial to note that no one has been convicted of this crime, and there was no concrete evidence linking K.I. or Butter to O.D. Perry's killing. It wasn't until many years later that a Freedom of Information request revealed that the police had officially named K.I. and Boss Trell as subjects in the report. This followed an unnamed informant naming them as the shooters in 2016, years after their passing. Let's consider for a moment the reputation that K.I. had when she passed away as a 14-year-old girl from Tukaville, allegedly responsible for such a significant hit on an older and respected Wick City member. This narrative makes sense given the circumstances. Tukaville residents couldn't believe that a teenager had carried out such an act. Combine this with the belief that K.I. was heartbroken over Tuka's death and was determined to avenge him, and it becomes apparent why she would earn immense respect within the gang. Her alleged involvement in O.D. Perry's incident was further fueled by tweets in which she dissed O.D., echoing the way O Block members had spoken about Tuka in the past. One astonishing detail from this story is the rumor that O.D. Perry had a large .357 or .44 Magnum, which he was known for flaunting. The story goes that K.I. took this gun away from his body after the hit, a rumor supported by the fact that she seemingly flexed an almost identical gun on social media in the years that followed, almost as a trophy. While the exact details of this situation may never be known for certain, K.I.'s alleged role in the event that solidified O Block as O Block undoubtedly contributed to her fearsome reputation. Following O.D. Perry's killing, a relentless cycle of tit-for-tat violence between O Block and Tukaville ensued, lasting nearly 2 years. This bloodshed would have far-reaching consequences beyond just this feud, marking a dark chapter in the Chicago gang landscape. On October 19, 2011, a tragic incident unfolded involving Edward Riley, also known as Platoon from O Block. He was walking with his girlfriend on 63rd and King Drive when two suspects approached them. They gunned him down just 1 block south, near 64th Street, closer to O Block itself. After this act, the suspects proceeded further down the block, where they shot a 15-year-old in the head, who miraculously survived.
Damn.
Unfortunately, Platoon was not as fortunate and did not survive. In Platoon's memory, albeit briefly, people began to refer to the area as Toontown. However, the name O Block ultimately persisted. Intense speculation has surrounded the details of what transpired and who was responsible for the hit on Platoon. Apparently, aside Aside from Tookaville, a GD set called MOB also had a motive to target Platoon as part of a separate feud in which he was involved, particularly with 600, who were also BDs affiliated with O-Block. It has been suggested that there were 2 assailants involved that day, with one allegedly being Lil B from Tookaville and the other Beans from MOB. Additionally, many have claimed that Wooski from Tookaville played a role in this incident. It's truly heartbreaking that, following the loss of a beloved O-Block member like Platoon, the pain would continue as they would soon face yet another tragedy. On February 12, 2012, at 6:47 p.m., Sheroid Liggins of O-Block was found with a gunshot wound to the head on the 6400 block of South King Drive, just outside Parkway Gardens. This incident further underscores why this area came to be known as one of the most dangerous.
Now this area, for y'all that don't know, so this is like not like right down the street from O-Block type shit. So if you keep going this way right here, you go this way, and this, I've told stories about this Green Line station right here, boy. Nigga. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it be cracking in these buildings too, boy. Like I know some niggas that got killed in these buildings. Like I know some niggas who, like, they uncle got killed. I know a nigga who uncle got killed. I know a nigga who cousin got killed in there, like type. So people was getting killed in these buildings too, and the ones that's a little bit farther down the street. But yeah, if you keep going, you probably cross this street. It used to be a Walgreens right on the other side, and then on the other side of that Walgreens is O-Block. So this corner right here, you cross that street, you keep walking a little bit, and then you'll get to O-Block type. So that, if y'all don't know where we at, but this technically 63rd though, cause y'all see 62nd and 44th Street, 6244. I mean, so this is King Drive right here. This street right here is King Drive. So this 62nd, when you get to this corner and you cross the street, technically that's 63rd. But this being King Drive, I think it's like Vernon, Eberhard. I forget, it's like 3-4 blocks in between, and then you get to St. Lawrence. That's what Ducknam used to be. So technically, they was kind of still on 63rd. If you go to O-Block, some of the addresses start with 6307 type, some of 6304. You know what I'm saying? So it's technically 63rd, but it's not 63rd for real, like St. Lawrence. Like, they don't really be like, you know, it's kind of.
In America, Sheroid fought for his life in the hospital for approximately 4 days, but on February 20th, he was tragically pronounced dead at Stroger Hospital. No one was ever apprehended for this crime. However, KI strongly implied on Twitter that Bostrell from Tookaville was responsible. Some people on the internet delved into these tweets, suggesting that Bostrell had shot Sheroid from across the street, purportedly using a gun equipped with a red laser beam sight to enhance accuracy. This gun even appeared in Lil J and FBG Duck's music videos for the song Critical, which Chief Keef dissed. Combine this with Bostrell's apparent bragging about the incident on Twitter later in the year and KI's tweets referencing the red beam, and it becomes clear that this was a brazen attack that only fueled further violence between O-Block and Tookaville in the ensuing months. On April 28, 2012, around 9:30 p.m., Marlon Monroe, also known as Lil Doc from Tookaville, had finished a painting job and was walking towards a convenience store on the 6300 block of St. Lawrence Avenue. A gunman passed by and unleashed a hail of bullets. Marlon stumbled away from the scene, injured, and eventually collapsed into a tall patch of weeds in an empty lot near the store. Shockingly, when the police later arrived, they didn't find Marlon's body. Instead, they collected the spent shells and evidence and left the scene, with a 16-year-old boy discovering Marlon hours later in the weeds with a gunshot wound to his chest. Marlon had been left there for over an hour after being shot, and within an hour of being discovered, he was pronounced dead at Stroger Hospital. Once again, it remains unclear exactly who was responsible for this crime. The next high-profile shooting between O-Block and Tookaville featured a very familiar face, King Von. On October 13th, 2012, a 17-year-old boy named Model McCambry was walking along the street with his cousin on their way to meet someone. This occurred on the 6300 block of South Rhodes Avenue around 9:30 p.m. An assailant approached and opened fire, hitting Model in the chest. Tragically, he later died at Stroger Hospital. What makes this story and the previous one even more heartbreaking is
I don't like what's Stroger? Ain't Stroger right? If Stroger is the hospital, I think, boy, they ass weak selling that bitch. Like, don't go to Stroger, goddamn. Shit. But I ain't gonna lie, that's another reason why a lot of niggas be passing away. It ain't really no trauma units in Chicago like that. So a lot of the times, bro, literally the hospital doesn't even have the things that they really need to really give you a good chance at surviving gunshots. You know what I'm saying? Like Northwestern is cool. You know what I'm saying? And there's some other ones. I can't remember the names, but it's some other ones. They like more south though. Like that's it, like 95th and over there, in the hundreds and in the burbs and. But Northwestern, University of Chicago, right there. But if Stroger, oh my God.
Is that Modell and Lil Doc were actually related, sharing a grandmother who received the devastating news of both of their deaths within months. Many have suggested that King Von was responsible for Modell's death, primarily due to tweets he made to Tookaville Op, Wooski, hinting at his involvement, or at least his crew's role in the incident. Von was even rumored to have been present for several shootings carried out by O-Block during this period, which contributed to his fearsome reputation as someone always willing to engage in criminal activities. Von famously claimed in his songs to have 7 bodies to his name, although the veracity of that claim remains uncertain. Following these incidents, O-Block shooters continued their efforts to claim lives from Tookaville, perpetuating the cycle of violence. On October 30th, 2012, a man named Derek Johnson, also known as P5 or Crack, was tragically gunned down. He was not a member of Tookaville but belonged to Jarrow City, a Chicago gang set located north of Tookaville with a history dating back several years. On that day, P5 found himself on Tookaville turf, specifically the 6,200 block of South Eberhard Avenue. Reportedly, members of O-Block, including J Money, King Von, and Big A, were lurking in the area looking for Tookaville rivals to target. Only a day prior to this incident, King Von had tweeted about his intention to claim more lives to catch up with fellow block shooter T-Roy. The story goes that these O-Block shooters spotted P5 at around 9:13 in the morning and opened fire, hitting him multiple times. Some accounts even suggest that he was hit 6 times in the head and 9 times in the body. P5 was rushed to Stroger Hospital, but once again was pronounced dead within the hour. Following this incident, the intermittent violence between O-Block and Tookaville showed no signs of abating. O-Block continued to seek retribution for the attacks they had endured. Not long after the P5 incident, O-Block appeared to have claimed a high-profile member of Tookaville, 17-year-old Rodney Stewart, known as Boss Trell. Boss Trell, who had allegedly killed Sheroyd from way across the street for Tookaville, seemed to be planning to leave town. He had tweeted about being excited for a fresh start on November 6th and had even purchased a bus ticket to depart on the 10th. However, only 2 days before his scheduled departure, on November 8th, Boss Trell was found face down in an alley in the 2600 block of West 83rd Street, having been shot in the back of the head. This location was significantly distant from both O-Block and Tookaville. Some have suggested that J Money and T-Roy were involved in a setup, potentially orchestrated by an allegedly disloyal ex-girlfriend. They purportedly lured him far away from Tookaville with the promise of meeting a girl, only to shoot him when he arrived. Boss Trell didn't pass away immediately. He was left fighting for his life, ultimately declared brain dead in the hospital after several days. T-Roy, widely believed to be responsible for this incident, mockingly tweeted on November 8th, "No Trell, stay alive." Tookaville affiliates like FBG Cash paid their respects to Boss Trell, and his death was a profound loss for Tookaville. A song in tribute titled "Dear Boss Trell" hinted at his past as a red beam slinging shooter.
Dear Boss Trell, you my broski and I miss you.
On the other side, O-Block celebrated their perceived retribution for their fallen brother, Sheroyd. However, Boss Trell's death would set the stage for a dramatic act of vengeance. On September 2nd, 2013, Jerome Wood, also known as J Money from O-Block, was allegedly set up in a manner eerily similar to how Boss Trell had been set up. J Money had apparently gone to a location on the 6600 block of South Rhodes Avenue around PM, seemingly under the pretense of meeting a woman he knew. However, upon arrival, he was met by Lil B and KI from Tookaville. He reportedly tried to escape by running down a gangway into an adjacent property, but tragically he was shot in the head and collapsed outdoors, ultimately succumbing to his injuries. Tweets from other gang members suggested that this incident was a direct act of retaliation for P5, Boss Trell, and other previous conflicts. After this incident, KI tweeted about shooting people in the back of the head, leading many to speculate her direct involvement in this particular incident. Ironically, within a year, another Tookaville member, Lil B, who had supposedly been present on the day of J Money's shooting, was killed by the Chicago PD on March 28, 2014. He was reportedly chased by the police, who had observed a suspected drug deal. The police claimed that Lil B hopped over a fence and pointed a pistol at them, which led them to use a taser and shoot him multiple times, resulting in his death. Following Lil B's death, Patoon's cousin publicly stated that they had found the individuals responsible for his cousin's death, with one person being charged with an unrelated murder, referring to the other mob member allegedly involved, and the other being killed by the police, referring to Lil B. Many took this as confirmation of Lil B's involvement in the Platoon incident. Following these events, Tookaville and O-Block continued their ongoing conflict for years to come. However, the dynamics would evolve. Notably, King Von was incarcerated for approximately 3.5 years after being charged with the murder of another Tookaville affiliate, Malcolm Stuckey, a charge he later beat. During this period, K.I., fueled by her thirst for revenge, formed Taekwon World after the loss of another young friend, Taekwon. She engaged in various street feuds beyond O-Block, confronting rivals from different parts of the city. Eventually, her past would catch up to her. Furthermore, the prominent O-Block member T-Roy would be tragically slain, leading to the remaining members forming a get-back gang with a single-minded mission to seek vengeance against Tookaville and other groups they believed were involved in the loss of T-Roy. As we conclude our journey through the turbulent history of O-Block and Tookaville, it's essential to reflect on the lessons we can draw from this.
I ain't gonna lie, man. That is some real crazy shit. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. A lot of this shit is like, a lot of this shit is crazy because the murders be going unsolved. But y'all gotta understand, bro, this is 10 minutes away from I can get to this in 10 minutes. All I gotta do is leave my crib, drive maybe like 10, 15, go drive down the street, go through the park, drive through Washington Park, you feel me? Get to the goddamn it King Drive down a little bit more. Like, it's not hard. I used to take the trip. Like, literally, I don't know if anybody told y'all, the church right next to O-Block is where my mama used to drag me every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So at the church, when she doing this, she doing that, guess who I'm kicking it with? Niggas from the O. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta understand, it wasn't like prominent niggas though. Like, that's the thing. O-Block is big as hell. So like, it wasn't like Vaughn and Sosa and Reese, and it wasn't them niggas. I never met them niggas a day in my life. Well, I seen them, but I never met them. But it's just crazy because as a young nigga, I'm saying all I'm saying is because as a young nigga, as a kid, I'm not thinking like, I'm knowing like, damn, this hood busting, like, it's the hood, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the hood. It's what's going on in the hood. But I'm not knowing I'm gonna grow up and be 23, 24, 25, really not even that old, grow up to be 18, and so many is gonna know the stories behind these bodies, and they know the pictures and names. Like, I never thought nobody would ever know the names of these people. You get what I'm saying? I never thought this would get big and famous, and motherfuckers gonna know Boss Trail, and like, how you think? Like, you know how crazy that is in my head? Like, you know Boss Trail name, you know J Money name. Like, these is people, like, you get what I'm saying? These people, niggas in the city knew. Niggas in the city knew what was going on. If you was around, if you was outside. But niggas ain't know in Atlanta and New York and everywhere, and London and Sweden, and they know about this everywhere, gang. Like, it's just crazy to me. But rest in peace to everybody, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them bodies went unsolved, bro. A lot of them. Pretty much all of them. They can't tell you who killed K.I. They can't tell you who killed L.A. They can't tell you who killed Nunu. They can't tell you who killed Tuka. They can't tell you who killed O.D. They don't know. They got ideas, bro. Nobody ever got arrested for that. But a lot of that be because of one reason, bro. Nobody get arrested because before they get arrested, while they building a case, while they figuring out evidence, the nigga gets smoked anyway. So it's like, after a while, the police on some shit like, man, we just gonna let them smoke each other then, because it's easier for us. We ain't gotta do no work. Nigga gonna die anyway, so what we doing all this work for? That's how they think, for real. Y'all better stop playing, bro. Like I said, though, rest in peace to everybody. Skate.